Hello everyone. Here we are with Quake again. Welcome. Today's plan is to first of all show you a wonderful piece of Quakeworld featuring our Brazilian friend Deb and Demon the Ukrainian destroyer, and after that I will talk a bit about the two big Quakeworld LAN events we had during the last year, which were Quakecon 2016 and the Qhlan 2017 that just ended less than a month ago. I guess I could wait just for a moment if people are still tuning in before I will start with the DM2 Blast from the Past. Thanks to Henu for reminding me about this wonderful event. It took place in 2015 when we were playing 2-on-2 with Henu against Deb and Timon. Warming up with some coral. I've never seen this map before. Looks nice though. I mean, the textures are beautiful. Ah, those are stairs there. Run up the waterfall. Only in Quake. Okay. Pillar with some cells and quad telefrags me. Brutal. Insult to injury. Having quad and then telefrag. Okay, yellow is down here. Oh. Okay, this teleport takes back and forth. Oh, and whatever. Ah, there's green. I was sure that there is something, and now I know that it's green. This is always difficult to learn a map while playing free-for-all because you don't get to see the items very often because they are being taken all the time. Go! Up to lava. This takes to yellow. Oh. Okay. The yellow? Okay. Earned the waterfall trick. So did he. Green. This takes here and this takes to yellow. Okay, that's interesting. It's almost like a three-way teleporter. This takes here and this takes to yellow. Okay, interesting. Pretty much the same as in DM6 teleporter. Goes two ways from Mega to Green and from Green to Mega, but also Yeah, also from mid to green. Okay, we have 10 viewers already. We can skip to the demo part. It is here. I don't know what I should tell you about this beforehand. It's a DM2 2-on-2 Dev from Brazil and Timon from Ukraine against Enu and I, and we are both Finns, if that matters. Okay, I guess my point of view could be good. The beginning, we'll change pop quite soon. I get the low rocket. Standard start, I go for red, and here I have a fight with Dev, and he ends up dying. And here's where the funny part starts. You can see that Timon, after all that chaos, is under quad, and he messages. Here you can see that he tells Dev, help at quad low. Okay, Dev spawns tele, and he opens the tele bars, but for whatever unbelievable reason, he doesn't go through. This would take him to high tele and allow him to take high rocket and get the quad that is still up. But for some incomprehensible reason, he decides to go for a shortcut with Timon. And let's see Timon's point of view. You can see that he didn't see Dev coming, and he's clearly waiting for him to come through tele, because Dev gave him a message here, coming tele. And we can see what happens here. Timon is staring still at high tele, while Dev is making his way towards quad low. And just as Dev goes for the shortcut, Timon turns at the same time and doesn't realize that Dev is actually behind him. And still, Timon is staring at tele, doesn't realize that Dev is behind him until now. Okay, now he hears Dev jumping there, trying to make the shortcut. And slowly, Timon reacts to the situation, fails the jump for the first time, or doesn't even jump. Then Dev, for whatever reason, decides to move away. And if you want to make this shortcut, you have to be standing on the first there so the teammate can jump on top of you. But I can't even explain what is happening here. Now they are both going for the shortcut. I have no idea. I don't have any explanation for this. Just laugh with me. Now Dev went for the wrong stair, and there's no way Timon can jump anymore. And there's no way Timon can make it to the quad. He jumps on top of Dev and tries to go for the quad, but there's no way. It's just impossible to do it from there when Dev is too low. And the funny thing is that at the same time, Henu is coming to quad, and Henu had absolutely no idea that quad had not been taken, because we both died there, and it's already 32 seconds into the round. So it's just crazy that quad has not been taken before, because we knew that Timon was alive still. And the funny thing is that Timon actually now has 64 health and a rocket. So he could have rocket jumped, but only after a while, because these health boxes here were taken when they were trying to make the shortcut. So he could have done the rocket jump, but when the health packs actually spawned there, Dev was there under the quad, kind of like blocking the rocket jump. And also, I guess Timon didn't want to, I don't know, want to waste his health for a rocket jump because he thought that they will make the shortcut. But just, I don't know, they didn't. And Henu saves the day. Comes in, kills them both, and I think it's actually me who comes from the mid and rocket jumps in and gets the quad. There we go. Let's see it once more at full speed. Because this is just golden. I was laughing my ass off yesterday because I had already forgotten about this. Okay, demo set speed 100. Guess this is a good point of view. Ev tries to go for the quad for the first time. That's a very nice fight with me actually. And Timon kills. Timon gets 2 kills and a team kill. And here we go. Dev doesn't go for the high rocket. Goes for the shortcut instead. And here we go. No such luck this time. And we get the quad. Good times. Big thanks to Dev and Timon for providing the entertainment for today. I don't know, tell me which one was better, the yesterday's stomp quad team kill or that one? Because I can't decide. I don't know, stuff like that just should never happen in Quake, but apparently it does, and that's what makes this game so amazing. You never know what is going to happen. Well, we have Dev here, so you can talk us through your thought process. Like, what were you thinking at the telly when you press the button and then you go for the shortcut instead of going through the teleport, take the high rocket, and get the quad that way? Yeah, it happened yesterday. If NPH, if you want to see the quad stomp, it's you can check the past videos here in Twitch or go to my YouTube channel and check yesterday's stream part 1. It's the 17-minute video. So there is a quad team stomp in DM2. Very much worth seeing. But everyone was dead. Because Timon killed everyone there under quad. He killed you and both of us. I was dead. Henu was dead. This is from 2015, I think. March 2015. Yeah. Yeah, it certainly looks that way, Dev. You just didn't have a clue. But it's all well and good, I think. I mean, we all know that you're a lot better now. And it was just hilarious. We were laughing our asses off back then, and I'm still laughing my ass off. It's just so hilarious. You had already only played 2 months. Okay. You're excused, but anyway, thanks for providing us with all this laughter. So anyway, I wanted to talk a bit about the LAN events we had. Quakecon 2016 in August in Dallas, Texas, and Qhlan 2017 in Stockholm, Sweden. So I even have some notes because I would never remember all this stuff while talking. This will be a kind of a monologue. If you have any questions, I will gladly answer them later. And if Dev will stay here in the chat, he can fill in any gaps that I'm probably going to leave, because Quakecon was last August, so I will probably not remember everything. So please fill me in, maybe after the monologue or something. So I'm going to talk a bit about the venue, the location in general, the hardware they provided us with, then a bit about the rule set and the configurations, prize money, schedule, then talk a bit about the gaming, how it was to play there or in both of these events. Then the coverage for the tournaments, I will say a couple of words about that. And that's pretty much it. I will note some highlights from both of the events as well. Well, anyway, let's start with the venue and location, and with Quakecon. Quakecon 2016 was held at the Hilton Anatole Hotel in downtown Dallas, and it's a very fancy place. They call it a hotel, and maybe it is a typical hotel for the States or some other parts of the world, but at least the European hotels and the Asian and African ones I have been to, they are nothing like that. It's more like this, I don't know, a venue for exhibitions and big events than a hotel to me. There is a hotel part and you can stay in the rooms as well, but there's so much more that building than just the hotel. At least for me, a hotel is just reception desk and a bunch of rooms, some smaller, some bigger. But this Hilton Anatole is just a huge venue building with big ballrooms, exhibition halls, and many restaurants around. So it's a fancy place, and it felt very odd to go there and realize that, okay, I'm here to play Quake. It just didn't feel like a LAN venue at all. It's not necessarily anything negative, but it was just very different from all the other LAN events that I've been to. Food there was pretty expensive, and outside the venue building, outside the Hilton Anatole Hotel, there weren't very many restaurants or fast food places. So you either had to eat there in the, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 restaurants that were there, or you had to walk a bit further to find food. And anyway, food is not very cheap in the States if you want to eat out. So that's something negative about the location. And also Dallas in August, it was plus 40 pretty much every day. So walking outside was real pain in the ass. Just, I didn't feel like going outside at all. I remember one day when I knew that I had to walk to the hotel from the Airbnb apartment where I was staying at. I just didn't feel like going because it was just so hot, and the walk took me like 30 to 40 minutes as far as I remember. So that's a definite negative, at least for me. I'm not used to plus 40. I'm from Finland, for God's sake. So I don't know, any other time of the year would be better than August, or almost any other location would be better than Texas in August, if you want to put it that way. Then what else? Well, the hotel is pretty expensive as well. They offered some Quakecon discount, and with the discount, a hotel room there in Hilton Anatole cost $160 a night. Had I realized that you could split it in four with 4 people staying in one room, it would have been a lot more reasonable. $40 a night. It's still not cheap, but that would have been okay. But if you're going there and staying alone in a room, it's going to cost you quite a bit. So I decided to go to an Airbnb apartment and stayed with this family from Chile, which was quite interesting actually. I don't mind that, but just there's no way I'm paying $160 a night for a hotel. What else did I write here? Well, what was a huge positive surprise for me was that they had reserved a huge ballroom for us where we were able to play through the whole event, and every Quakeworld player had computer reserved just for him. So we were able to leave our keyboards, our headphones, mice, everything in place, and just walk in and out. And other people didn't have access to that ballroom except for the staff members and the Quake Live players who were playing in the same room. So that was just amazing, and we were able to use the computers to run unofficial tournaments like the Duel Mania tournament and the 4-on-4 tournaments there. So that was a definite plus. Huge thumbs up for that. What wasn't so great about the room was that it was freezing inside. The temperature was so low there in the ballroom that I didn't measure how cold it actually was, but I was wearing I think 3 shirts, one of which was a hoodie. I was wearing jeans, double socks, long johns. I would have worn a cap if I had had one, but I had a hood on pretty much all the time, and still I was just trembling because it was so cold. And just touching your mouse or keyboard just made your hands almost instantly cold. So playing there in the room was not good at all. And pretty much everyone was complaining about it. I think Blood Dog might have been the only person who didn't mind the cold that much, but everyone else that I talked to, they just hated the temperature. And I talked to the staff about it, but there was nothing they could have done because apparently previous years they had tried to turn the air conditioner off, and then in Texas in August it just becomes like a sauna. So apparently you either turn the air conditioner full on or totally off. So I don't really know which one is better, but it wasn't good in either case. I think that's it about the venue. The Qhlan is held south of Stockholm, not anywhere near the downtown Stockholm. It's held in a high school building, I think, and there is certainly enough space for everyone. There's absolutely nothing to see around it. I mean, there are no sights to be seen. But what is positive is that there are places where you can buy food for a cheap price, and they even provide very cheap fast food there at the venue. So that's a definite plus, especially with the schedule they have at Quakeworld, which I will come to later. What else? Well, there's one problem at Qhlan, I think, and that is the table space they offer you. When you reserve a spot at the LAN, they reserve table space that is way too narrow for you, or at least for most modern gamers. If you have a full-sized keyboard and a bit bigger a bit bigger mouse pad, then you're not going to fit to the space they provide you with. Luckily this time, as well as the last time I attended Quakeworld LAN in 2010, it wasn't a problem because the venue wasn't full. But if the venue had been full, if they had sold all the tickets, it definitely would have been a problem because there's just no way we could have fit there. Most of the players would need more space than they provided us with. Now about Quakecon, I wanted to mention that yeah, it's in Dallas, and there's not much to do in Dallas really. At least not for me. I didn't find the city very interesting. I walked there half a day, and I found it to be more than enough. Just a big city, big skyscrapers, way too hot. It seems to be like a huge business city, nothing more than that. Then moving on to the hardware section. At QuakeCon, I didn't have anything to complain about the hardware. They had some Alienware PC computers. Worked exceptionally well for Quakeworld. Fast enough for Quakeworld. I think I didn't hear anyone complaining about any FPS problems or anything like that. And they provided us with some 144 Hz monitors that felt really good, just like at home. The only difference was that they were 24-inch monitors compared to the 27-inch monitor that I use at home. But I didn't have any problems getting used to it. It was pretty much the setup I use at home. And the chairs we had there in the ballroom, I think they were fine as well. I don't remember them being very bad. At Quakeworld LAN, on the other hand, they provided us with some old server hardware computers, and surprisingly, they worked very well in Quake. People were a bit worried about it, but at least I didn't run into any problems. I had solid 616 FPS playing with those, so that wasn't a problem. But what was a problem was the ISO 240 Hz, so-called 240 Hz monitors that we got to play with. I can't remember anyone being very happy with one. Some people said that they were okay, and I think it was Teho or Banjabi told that they were at least better than their own 60 Hz monitors, which is not saying much, but at least for me and Niv and Recall as well, everyone agreed that they were really, really bad. I couldn't really put my finger on it. I mean, I don't know what exactly was causing the problems because I read reviews at TFT Central, and apparently the input lag should be just fine. And although the 240 Hz mode is not real 240 Hz, it should still run at 120 Hz. Just like normal TFT gaming monitors, but it just felt really, really bad. Just unplayable, I would say. I wouldn't play Quake with such a monitor. I would rather quit, play with one of those. Just horrible. They got the monitors, I think, from the DreamHack organization, and DreamHack used those monitors, I think, back in 2013. And even the Counter-Strike players had complained about the monitors a lot. So apparently there is something wrong with them. I just don't know exactly what. But I'm not blaming Quakeworld LAN for it. It was just amazing that we actually had the possibility to get computers and monitors. And they solved the situation very well because there were some old CRT monitors available, and I got to play with one. Niv got to play with one. Recall got MERS monitor, so I think most players didn't have any problems because of the monitors, so well done there. But just so you know, if you ever see an aftermarket ASO 240 Hz monitor, avoid it like the plague. Horrible. I think that's it about the hardware. No big complaints besides the ASO monitors. Then about the rules. Well, I will start with Quakeworld LAN. The rules were online. No one enforced the rules much, and I think in Quakeworld scene, cheating is not a big problem, or almost not a problem at all. And everyone knows each other there, can spectate everyone behind their shoulders or behind their backs. So I think no one was going to cheat anyway. I didn't see any cheating. I think that's the way to go with Quakeworld, because we know everyone in the scene and it's a LAN environment, so cheating is not going to be a problem, I think. And the rules were there. You were supposed to use the either SmackDown or Quakecon rule sets, and that takes care of any of the problems already. I mean, if you don't really want to or custom clients or whatever. But that's it. Worked well, no problems, no hassle. Then a word about the rules at Quakecon. They were pretty strict with the rules, especially before or pretty much only before the event. We had long discussions between the organizers of the tournaments, and we were trying to find solutions that wouldn't hurt anyone's game too much, because as you can see, I use custom textures. For example, people have custom crosshairs, custom skins. Quakeworld is very freely modifiable, and people like to modify their clients a lot. Or the way, not necessarily the clients, but the way their Quake looks. And at QuakeCon, it was going to be a problem. At least so they said. And then the developers of EasyQuake created a new rule set for QuakeCon that disabled some of the features compared to the SmackDown rule set. And in addition to that, we were not allowed to use custom textures or custom skins. I don't remember if they allowed custom crosshairs, because that wasn't going to be a problem for me, because I've for a long time used one of the crosshairs in EasyQuake anyway. Anyway, they were being quite strict about it, quite worried about it, apparently because of the prize money and because of the sponsors involved. But then I think they, in a way, dropped the ball when we actually started playing, because no one checked anything. I could have played with any client. They wouldn't have noticed anything if I had fired up qvcl.x and started playing. No one would have known. No one forced any F-modified checks. No one checked my equipment. No one did anything to check anything. Again, it's not going to be a problem in Quakeworld, but it just, I don't know, makes me wonder about other esports tournaments, that if this is the way things are run anywhere else, then no wonder there are very fishy looking videos about Counter-Strike tournaments, because cheating would be ridiculously easy if things were done like this. If people really wanted to cheat, it's easy to do it, at least with some kind of aim assist or not blast aim bot wall hacks would be more difficult unless they were toggleable. But anyway, it would be easy to at least bring in the cheats because no one was checking anything. So that was a bit strange in my opinion, because we spent a lot of time to talk with the staff to make sure that everything is just the way they want them to be, and then no one is even checking. So go figure. But I think that's it about the rules. Then a couple of words about the prize money. I think it's amazing that in 2016 we have a tournament with prize money for Quakeworld, and it was pretty much the only reason that made it possible for me to go, because I was feeling pretty confident that with Recall we would at least be in top 3, which would have covered the travel expenses just about, and the possibility to win even a bit more was great. On the downside, and don't take this in the wrong way, I'm not complaining about the money. I'm not playing Quake for money. I would be playing some other games if I was doing this for money. But I just found it a bit funny that I think after it was after the Quake Live final that was played after the Quakeworld Grand Final, there was this raffle sponsored by Ventrilo, and it was only for Americans, for American citizens, and I think they raffled 3 people who each won $10,000 without doing anything else but just writing down their names and whatever contact information in a form. And they won more money than we did with Recall for winning a tournament. So that's just a bit strange in my opinion, but that's the way it is. And they won almost as much as Rafa did for the Quake Live one-on-one victory. He got $12,000. Those raffle winners got $10,000 each. So they actually had more money in the raffle tournament, in the raffle than in either of the tournaments, because both of the tournaments, Quake Live 1-on-1 and Quakeworld 2-on-2, had $25,000 each. So that's it. And then the way the prize money was paid, they actually wanted to send us checks, because Americans apparently don't deal with bank accounts or bank transfers, wire transfers. So they wanted to send out checks. And at least in Finland, that's a huge problem. Because banks are not very interested in cashing out checks, because it's expensive for them, it takes them time, it's a risk for them because they don't know if they will actually get money for the check. To them, it just looks like a piece of paper for which they are giving out money to you, and then they have to make sure that they will get the same amount of money from somewhere else. So they are very reluctant to cash out the checks, and even if they will do so, it will be very expensive. And it was a hassle to make the Americans understand what a wire transfer is and how it works. It worked in the end, no problems there, but it took a bit of work and just funny cultural difference. Again, nothing against the organizers, it's just a difference in culture. And the tax form that we had to fill in for the prize money, everyone had to do it who won any money or over $500. I don't remember what the limit was. But anyway, no one provided us with any help. We asked for help. We asked the staff we told them that you must know how to fill in these forms because you have been doing this stuff for 10 plus years and you have been filling in these same forms, but they just wouldn't help us because apparently in the States you are not allowed to give any kind of advice regarding tax forms or probably many other forms as well because it's considered legal advice and they could end up in trouble because of that. Again, one of these very funny cultural differences that a European like myself never understand probably. Whereas in Qhlan this year, I still didn't get the money, but that is not their fault at all. We are just sorting out the taxation issues, and the staff has been very helpful, providing me with all the possible information that I could help myself with to avoid paying double taxes or whatever. So that has been amazingly easy with the Swedish people to handle these things. Probably because many things work very similarly to Finland. So things are very easy with them. And the cultures are very close to each other as well. And even to have the prize money at Qhlan was amazing with the community support. I think part of it is because we are just getting older. People can actually put the money in, we can afford it. It's a lot different than, I don't know, 15 years ago when many of us were students or even living with our parents still. So nowadays it's a lot easier for us to do it. And also a lot easier for us to go to another country to play computer game on our own expense. For example, me, I wasn't even going to play the one-on-one tournament, and I knew that probably we'll get some money out of the 2-on-2 tournament, but it wouldn't have been enough to cover the travel expenses even. But anyway, I wanted to go, so it wasn't financially a good solution or a good decision, but it was just so much fun. So much fun to meet the people, so of course I did go. What I found a bit strange about Qhlan prize money was that 75% of the prize money went to the one-on-one tournament, which I don't agree with. Even though I won the one-on-one tournament and I got the most of it, I got half of that, 75%. But I think the prize money distribution was strange. I think more money should go towards 4-on-4. Because 4-on-4 is where Quakeworld shines. And one-on-one not so much. But apparently many people like one-on-one, like to watch it, so maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. Okay, that was a long monologue about prize money. I didn't want to talk that much about it. Then something about the schedule. Quakecon schedule was mostly very, very good. We had a lot of time to play our games. I think it was due to the fact that they forgot to announce the Quakeworld 2-on-2 tournament. I don't actually know where they were supposed to announce it, but anyway, it was an open tournament, so anyone could have joined. But apparently, because they didn't advertise it much or at all, there were very few teams attending outside of the normal Quakeworld scene that you would see playing on the servers. So we had 16 teams instead of 32. So things ran very quickly, very smoothly. We had extra time to play some 4-on-4 tournaments that were even casted by the staff that was there, hired. And like I said before, they allowed us to get in the ballroom even the day before the tournaments actually started. So they played the Qhlan tournament there. I think it was on Thursday. Yeah, I think it must have been on Thursday because we played the group games on Friday and then the finals on Saturday. Or not the group games, but all the other games besides the grand final. Then again, they dropped the ball for the grand final, where we had all the time in the world before the grand final to warm up, to play our games, play extra games, just have fun with the other players, talk with people. For reasons that are not quite clear to me, we didn't have almost any time for warming up on Saturday when we played the grand finals. So we ended up pretty much waiting for the whole day for the grand finals to start. They even changed the schedule once, and Recall almost missed the grand final because he was at the pool, still thought that the grand final will, or, well, the grand final would start, let's say, at 4 in the afternoon. I don't remember the exact time, and they told us to be somewhere at 15:30, and then they changed the time to, let's say, 15:10, and Recall was still at the pool. I was texting him, trying to get him there because I didn't know exactly where he was, so I couldn't just walk to him and get him. But anyway, he made it, and there is a funny video about Recall running half naked through the Hilton Anatole Hotel because he lost his key card on the way and everything. Good days. Well, anyway, then we ended up standing there at the backstage waiting for our turn to play with absolutely no warm-up. We barely had any time to set up the computers. The space was pretty narrow at the stage. I mean, it wasn't deep enough. It was difficult to find space for your legs. We didn't have the same chairs there. We were using some fancy-looking racing gaming chairs that were absolutely horrible, in my opinion. With Recall, we removed both of the cushions that were attached to the chair, and still, I would never buy one. At least it just felt really, really bad. But I don't know if it really affected our performance in any way. But I don't know. It would have been better to either have those chairs all the time, or to be allowed to use the chairs we had in the ballroom in the grand final as well. And then when we started to play the final, or when we actually got to the stage and we're warming up just for a minute before the game started, the casters who were spectating either in QTV or just as spectators, they told us to ready up, although Oktar couldn't even hear his sounds. I think there was just some kind of sound problem. He couldn't hear anything. And they just pretty much forced us to go ready anyway, which doesn't make any sense. Especially because there were these, in my opinion, no offense or a bit of offense towards someone, in my opinion, totally useless lip sync competitions before the tournament, and they were using a lot of time for some speeches and case modding competitions, and then they start to hurry things up when we are actually trying to play the grand final of perhaps one of the most important Quakeworld tournaments in a long time, at least some sense. And we end up playing with 1 out of 4 players playing without sound because of their schedule issues. I don't quite get it, or I don't get it at all. It's just they really dropped the ball there because everything up until that point had been so good. But they're, I don't know, when things were supposed to be better than anything before, actually a disaster. Not a grand final at all, in my opinion. Then about Qhlan. They had a nice schedule up actually this year. They had sweet plans to have everything done on Saturday at midnight, I think, or even 11 o'clock. But even before we started playing, I knew that it's not going to work. And it didn't work in 2010 either. I think we played our final official game at 5 a.m. in the morning in 2010. And now, this year, the last one-on-one final game ended at, could have been 4 o'clock, 3:30, I'm not sure. But anyway, very, very late. They should make the tournaments shorter. This year they could have made the one-on-one tournaments so much faster. Just skip the group stages, play best of 3 games as long as possible, and no double elimination, just single elimination bracket from the start, and then you will finish the tournament maybe in time. EB or Dope Skills, he did an amazing job trying to keep things in schedule, but it was an impossible task for him. He tried, he did his best, but it was just out of his hands. People went to eat, people toilet, whatever. People did what they had to do to survive through the LAN. It's not easy on the players either, because especially if you go all the way or almost all the way in all 3 tournaments, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and 4-on-4, you end up playing a lot of official games, and you really don't have much time for doing stuff that human beings have to do to survive. But anyway, that has, I think, always been a problem at Qhlan. And it was a problem this time as well. Many official games. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to take part in the one-on-one tournament. But for whatever reason, I decided to take part after all. And it ended up just as I had afraid. I didn't get to play almost any 4-on-4, or if any 4-on-4 outside the official games. Maybe we played 1 practice games, but I wanted to play a lot of 4-on-4. I didn't get to play almost any because I ended up playing 1-on-1 competitions all the time. But I guess I can blame myself, partly at least. Then about gaming. I already talked about this quite a bit. At Quakecon, gaming was very good, except for the temperatures at the ballroom, where we played all the games except for the grand final, and also except for the final. I told you about the bad chair. I told you about Lochter's sound problems. Very, very bad. Then the grand final was, they told us that it's a best of 5, where we get 1 map advantage because we won the winners bracket. But actually it becomes a best of 4 because there's no way we could play 5 maps when we have a 1 map advantage. It's maximum of 4 maps, which makes the final very short, especially as it happened. 1 team wins the first two maps. So it was 20 minutes of Quakeworld at the grand stage with 1 out of 4 players playing without sound. And I didn't mention it yet, but some sound guys totally failed at their jobs, and there was very loud music all the time, or almost all the time, playing in the grand hall. And in addition to that, the sounds that were played towards the audience, it was so loud that, for example, when I shot rockets, the table was trembling. So it felt quite bad to play and make some size movements when your table is actually shaking every time someone shoots a rocket, or even shafts. On one hand, it felt amazing to shoot rockets, and you could really feel it in your guts that, okay, I'm actually shooting rockets here. But then on the other hand, it's quite horrible for good gameplay. So that wasn't very optimal. And like I told you, no chance for warming up. I think Carapace and Lochner were able to warm up even less because of Lochner's sound problems. I think Lochner was booting up his computer at least 2 times trying to solve the problems, but the sound just wasn't there. I think no one still knows what happened there. But anyway, they didn't have even the warm-up we had with Recall, which was, I think, 1 Pop Demon 4 before we went to the stage, and then at the stage we were jumping around DM6, pre-warring. That was the warm-up. At Qhlan, on the other hand, gaming was pretty much perfect. The only problem I had was that I had my seat in between 2 rows of tables, so people would walk behind me and sometimes bump my chair a bit, like I don't know, forwards or sideways. So in the middle of the game, that is very disturbing, at least for me. I'm not blaming the people, just the table rows were too close to each other. So that was a problem, and also I can blame myself. I selected a very bad seat, and you were allowed to select your seat yourself, so blame on me. I maybe lack the LAN experience. I'm not a true LAN warrior to know where to sit. Although I remember that in 2010 we actually had a good plan with TVS, where we selected our seats next to a wall, so it would be as silent as possible and there would be as few people walking behind us. But anyway, otherwise, LAN is very good for playing too, for performing at your highest level. Also because you are allowed to bring your own computer, your own monitor, all the configuration files, all textures, whatever you need. All allowed, so that's good. Then we are almost in the end. Sorry this takes a long time. I hope you are somehow interested. About the coverage. At both events, coverage was just amazing. At Quakecon, we had DDK, Jehar. Then now I feel embarrassed because I don't. Zoot, I think his nickname is the Quake 3 caster. Who else did we have? I think those 3 people did the casting. And especially DDK, you couldn't ask for a better caster. He has played Quakeworld a lot. He loves the game. He knows the game very, very well, better than any other caster we have, I think. Perhaps Ande knows some things better, But I think especially when it comes to 4-4, DDK is pretty much the only caster that knows the game well enough to cast 4-4. So it was really amazing to have him cast both the 2-on-2 and one of the 2 4-4 tournaments that we played there. So that was very good. And he even casted the unofficial 4-4 tournament at the official Quakecon Twitch channel. So Quakeworld got a lot of exposure there, which never can hurt. Maybe we got 1 or 2 players, or maybe someone at least now knows us a bit better. And that can't hurt when we try to keep the game alive. So casting was amazing there. Also at Qhlan, I think we had some kind of budget for casting there as well, provided by the community again. I think there was Kickstarter campaign or some kind of crowdfunding for the coverage for Qhlan as well, and they did an amazing job. The production values were so high that I was just mind blown by it. Just the stream looked so good, so professional. Sharpie and Devogan did amazing job with the photography. Jehar and Ande with the casting, and also Fefi and Loktar for the 4-4. Although I understand that people like their jokes and so on, but I think 4-4 would maybe deserve casters that can follow 4-4 a bit better. So DDK still has a slight edge there. No offense, Fefi and Loktar, but I still prefer DDK for 4-4 casting. Then Sasuke with the sound production, also amazing. I love the Qhlan tune that they were playing between the games. Just throughout amazing. I think BBS might have provided the graphics for the stream. I'm not sure, but anyway, great job with the graphics as well. Whoever did those. And then what were the highlights? What I didn't mention yet was that it was just great to meet the people at Quakecon for the first time. Everyone is so friendly. Just the Quakeworld scene is so amazing, especially when you meet them in real life. We are all old enough, so at least most of us know how to behave. Very polite people, very interesting people, so nice to talk to. It was amazing to have players from all over the world. Dirtbox Venom coming all the way from Australia, GT and Dev coming from Brazil, and then of course all the players from Europe and Bogo, Blood Dog, Fiend, Thamba from the Northern America. So it was just a lot of fun talking with people, to actually meet the people with whom you have played for a long time, or the people you have only heard of but didn't really get a chance to play with, like Venom. He has never been to Europe, at least not to play Quakeworld, I think. So it was great to actually get to play against him. And that's it. That was just by far the biggest highlight of the tournament, or the event, not exactly a part of the tournament, say. But also I have to mention the grand final. It was a fiasco, gameplay-wise, but there's no denying the fact that it felt amazing to play on a stage in front of maybe 2,000 people. To play Quakeworld out of all games, to play the game that I have played almost for 20 years, and I don't know, living the dream, I guess, like Loktar would say. Just amazing. I think we will never get a chance like that again, so thoroughly enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. I'm glad I went. Then about Qhlan, it's not a grand event like Quakecon was when it comes to the venue, but playing there is a lot better. I think people perform at higher level at Qhlan than at Quakecon, and you have a lot more time to play. You have your own configuration and everything. So playing there is the highlight. You go there to play. But of course, it was great to meet the people as well. Met Mur for the first time. He didn't unfortunately make it to Quakecon, so it was great to meet him now. I met many of the European players for the first time because I think the previous Qhlan was even busier for me. So this time it was really great to actually have the time to meet people, even though I was really busy this time as well, but I just forced myself to actually meet everyone. And it was amazing to have almost all the best players in the world under the same roof. We had Bulat from Russia, who has, I think, never been to any international LAN before. We had the best Brazilian players, Mur, GT, and Dev. We had both Dirtbox and Venom from Australia. We had Blood Dog from the States. And we had pretty much all the best European players you could ask for. Even Zero made it there. We had Carapace, we had Recall, we had BBS, Locust, Locktar. Everyone was there. Mazer arrived, played really well in the one-on-one tournament. Who didn't make it? It would have been nice to get Bogo, Mergic, NPH, and Maga. Those 4 players could have gone pretty far in the one-on-one tournaments. I think definitely top 16 material. I'm pretty sure that at least some of those, or one of those 4 would have made it to top 8. Why not top 4 even, or all the way? I don't know. Hard to say. But other than that, you couldn't ask for higher quality tournament, I think, when you take into account that it's not a tournament about a lot of money, it's a tournament about prestige thing. So that was the highlight for Qhlan for me, or those were the highlights. I think that's it. I probably forgot to say something, especially about Quakecon, because it was already half a year ago. No, more than half a year ago, 8 months ago. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. I had plans to write a blog entry about Quakecon, but I think now that I have talked about it here, I think I won't. And it was nice to compare it to Qhlan, because Qhlan did some things very well, Quakecon did some things very well, and I think a perfect LAN would be something between maybe. But both events were great. I'm not complaining at all. Or maybe a bit, but I was happy with the tournaments. Thanks to everyone for listening, for the rant. Thanks to all the organizers, all the casters, all the players, all the fans watching. I don't know. Thanks to Quakeworld scene. It was great to have such LAN events for very old game like Quakeworld. But that's it. I'm done. Now I saw that someone was asking something, so I will go through the questions. Might take a while because there have been a few. Am I going to do analysis of my one-on-one games in the future? I might. I'm not sure though. if I will analyze so much one-on-one, because I did analyze the most interesting games from Qhlan already, I think. And I haven't played much one-on-one in general. I mean, during the last 6 years. So I probably just don't have the material to analyze. And on the other hand, I don't want to promote one-on-one as much as I want to promote team deathmatch, because I think team deathmatch is just so much more interesting, so much more fun to play, and I think to watch also when you understand what is happening. So I will try to share my knowledge when it comes to team deathmatch, and hope more people will start to enjoying it as well. Yeah, someone is writing here, or AIDS when Tura is writing. Surely there's a way to set it to certain temperature, talking about the ballroom. Yes, that's what you would think, but apparently not. I don't know, they were giving us excuses that this is connected to, I don't know, the whole air conditioning system in the building, and if we turn it off, everything collapses, or something like that. They just wouldn't do it. And they said that they have tried, or they had tried it before in previous years, but they wouldn't try it now. And about the Acer 240 Hz monitors, I turned off the turbo mode. I played with all the settings I could find, but everything felt bad. I really tried to play with it. I played, I think, yeah, I played the whole Thursday with it. So, like, I don't know, 8 hours. And then early in the morning, no, it was actually very late in the night, I got a CRT monitor. I actually stole a D-sub to DVI adapter from Bullet, because Bullet was already sleeping. And I was testing the CRT monitor, and it felt so smooth that I just asked at the Discord channel if anyone had an adapter like that. And the next morning, Jehar, one of the casters from Tasty Spleen TV, was kind enough to give me one for the LAN, and I returned the adapter to Bullet's computer. I'm sure he didn't even realize what had happened. But anyway, I did try everything I could with the Acer monitor, and it just didn't work. One year, someone that got caught cheating previously won more than the winner of the Q Live tournament. Was he caught cheating, playing previously in some other tournament and then later won in the raffle, or what happened? Someone is Quisto is writing here that production awful for Quakecon. I don't know. Previous years, this year I didn't have time to watch the stream much, but I think previous years the production has been quite okay. I think my main gripe has been the lack of nice bracket, or at least tournament bracket, that is, or at least it has been very difficult to find it, to be able to see what games are coming next and to actually follow the tournament. But I think in 2015 maybe they stepped up with that as well. So I would like to hear what was wrong with the production in your opinion. I didn't get to see this year's production much. Yeah, and I noticed that it was primarily a trade conference. Yes, that I totally noticed, and I have wanted to go to Quakecon for so many years. I remember reading about Quakecon early in the 2000s, or maybe even late 90s, I have wanted to go always. And although I didn't have, unfortunately, time to go to many events there when we were concentrated on playing Quakeworld, but I did have time to walk through the exhibition hall they had set up there and saw the BYOC area. And I don't know, I would like to go again for Quakeworld, but would I go otherwise there? Not really. I'm really happy to have seen it, but it's not so special anymore now that I have seen it. The visual production for Quakeworld. Yes, there was one thing at least that was disturbing me so much, and that was the fact that it was so difficult to actually understand who was leading the game, which team was leading the game. Even I didn't understand who was leading the game when I watched the Twitch stream. Their configuration was so bad, and I told them, and they just wouldn't fix it. I think you can have a configuration file where the colors and the scores change when you change spectating from one team to another. That is so confusing. It's horrible. I makes it difficult for me, and one would think that a player who has played the game for almost 20 years would understand what is happening. But if it confuses even me, then how are casual people or people who have played maybe Quake Live going to understand what is happening? Just that was horrible. I totally agree. And yes, it was a deliberate decision by ID or Quakecon to make it look old. Yes, that's true. They wanted to use the old HUD, which was in a way understandable, but on the other hand, very unfortunate because Quakeworld certainly doesn't look old necessarily. Although if you check my Quake here, it looks pretty old. Yeah, you linked the video of Recall running from the pool. That is priceless stuff. Good job, BBS, for catching. And it's wonderful that we have cell phones with cameras nowadays, because you would never catch a moment like that otherwise. Amazing. I don't like phone cameras much, but for that kind of situations, they are just worth their weight in gold. He was caught cheating in Quake Live online. All right. Yeah, that's actually true now that you say that they do pick only certain games that they will cast at QuakeCon. And yeah, I remember missing some very interesting Quake Live one-on-one games because they just wouldn't cast them. They would pick something very boring, in my opinion. And yeah, that has been very unfortunate. I don't know how it was with Quakeworld this time, if people got to see the best games. And well, I think at least at Qhlan, they even had some kind of voting system where people could vote for which game to spec. So that was pretty nice. So they did a good job. Let's hope they will change things at QuakeCon one day as well. But that's it. If you have any more questions, I will be happy to answer. Or if we have anyone in the stream who was either at Qhlan or at QuakeCon and thinks that I forgot to mention something, or thinks that I'm wrong or agrees with me, please share Because I'm sure that I forgot to mention something. Anyway, had a lot of fun at both events. Somehow, Qhlan maybe wasn't as fun because I found the one-on-one tournament so stressful. But the end result was great, of course. Then again, Quakecon was maybe a bit stressful, but I've never found 2-on-2 or team-based modes to be as stressful as one-on-one, and we had quite a bit of time after playing the grand final at Quakecon to just party and to be with people. So that was great. And we even met on Sunday at the hotel. Just meet one last time and then everyone left on Monday. Or almost everyone. I think Fefi at least stayed in the States for some more time. And I actually traveled in Texas for a week after the event, but didn't meet any Quake guys afterwards. I'm not going to show the hilarious demo anymore because I showed it already. I'm sorry if you missed it, but the stream will be available in YouTube and here in Twitch for some time. In YouTube, hopefully forever, or at least as long as YouTube is around. So you can check the hilarious demo there. You can ask the others who actually got to see it if it was as hilarious as I think, but I think it's pretty awesome. No, I showed it today. Yeah, I showed it today when I started streaming. That was the first thing I did. I waited till I had 10 viewers and then I showed the demo. So unfortunately it seems like you missed it, but they're available. Let's see if we can find a game. PH here playing against Iggy. PH or Speedball, a French player. Could have done some damage at Qhlan, I think. Unfortunately, he didn't come. He's one of those 4 players. Could have made a difference. Especially his airwalk is really good. Hello, Arctic Revras. Welcome. Find 1-2, I think 4-4 be a bit too optimistic. We'll see. Yesterday we had a lot of fun playing 4-4 in the custom maps, UK Pack 2 and Schloss. It was just so much fun. I can't remember having that much fun in Quakeworld in a long time. I just really enjoyed myself. And no, thank you. I'm not going to play one-on-one, especially not in stream. But general, either. I just don't like one-on-one. Hope we will find someone. I could actually jump around, I don't know, schloss. Because yesterday, although I played this once, I didn't have time to show you around the map so much, I think. So this is one of the maps in the custom map tournament we just launched with Dev. I think we have 4 clans signed up so far. Hopefully getting more soon. It seems like there are players who are interested in joining but haven't formed any teams yet. But I hope we will get at least 10 clans to be able to play against many different opponents, not only against 1 or 2 opponents all the time. 10 clans and 100 games, and I'm happy with the tournament. Might be wishful thinking, but have to set goals, right? So this is Schloss, a map by Zaka. He's a Finnish mapper, as far as I remember, and I very much enjoy his maps. Somehow, I think I haven't seen a single map from him that I didn't like. He has done Schloss, he has done CMT1B, and Doomed, and Skull. CMT1B and Schloss are great for 4-on-4, and Doomed and Skull are leaning more towards 1-on-1 and 2-on-2. I don't know how good Skull is in 2-on-2. It's quite a small and chaotic map, but at least Doomed works in 2-on-2 very well. It was actually played in one custom map 2-on-2 tournament. I think it was Quenya 2, maybe, the name of the tournament that we won with Maga. It was a great tournament. A lot of fun to play. So anyway, Schloss is a map with 2 rocket launchers, 2 yellows, 1 red, quad pent ring, 2 mega healths, no LG. There is a grenade launcher, and I'm sure SNG somewhere, SSG at least. There is, sure, the SNG is somewhere. Yeah, there at red. And I don't know about nail gun. Maybe there is a nail gun somewhere, but in Quakeworld, almost no one ever uses nail gun, so not so important. Here is SSG as well. There are 2 SSGs actually. Well, anyway, let's start from the quad. Quad is here. Very difficult to defend unless you go here on top of the quad. Get there by using the stairs here as well. The nice thing in a way is that you can't fall down. You can't go to the void. Especially in stairs like this, it's pretty nice. In Skull, the void is not bad because you don't usually fly off the map, but here it would be very easy to fly off, but you can. Anyway, this is quite a handy place for defending quad, but you still have to be quite careful with the tower rocket guy spamming you. And also, you can take quite a bit of damage if an enemy rocket comes here and can't see him so well. So, all in all, it's a pretty exposed place to be, and it really helps if you have good timing on quad and if you don't have to waste your time at quad too much. Then next to quad, we have tower. This is called the tower area. Tower has yellow, and you can steal the yellow by jumping from here. You can't quite make it up there, as far as I know. I have tried it, but I have never made it. If you know that someone has actually made this jump, I would love to know. But as far as I know, well, so far not possible unless someone proves otherwise. The slope jumps are always a bit tricky in Quakeworld, so it actually might be possible, but I don't know. I haven't been able to do it. Anyway, you can steal the yellow. That's the main point. Very handy. The tower, you have rocket launcher, which is quite easy to defend because you can have one guy sitting here. I think there's a spawn there, and you can just stay here hidden from the high quad quite well, and even from the high cat area. So you can just stay here and go for the yellow whenever you need it, and just hold on to the rocket. And the great thing is that you have some health here, 30 health, and some more health here, 50 more. Even a mega health down there, but we will get to that later. But usually you don't necessarily want to leave this area when you are the guy responsible for running the rocket. So you have health, you have armor, you have rocket there. But what makes it even better is that when you go through the teleport, you have more rockets here. That actually makes it possible to hold on to that area. And this teleport takes you back. Very, very good. So this is a great area to be in. The biggest risk, I think, is just going for the yellow, that someone will steal it from you by jumping from down there, or someone will flood you from either quad or high cat. So that's tower for you. Takes you to red as well through the teleport. Then next to the tower, between quad and the tower, you have the pent area. You have mega health, you have nade, and pent. Here with the lovely logs, piles of logs, and you can jump on the roof as well, which is not useful usually, but I don't know, sometimes it can be handy to maybe wait here, and if an enemy jumps in from the quad side of things, you can maybe get a free rocket in. Anyway, that's pent. I think there are no spawns here. There might be a spawn there. I'm not sure. I will go through the spawns soon. It's been a long time since I played this map a lot. And here's the tunnel that takes you to red. A lot of health here again, 50 health. Some rockets, SNG is there, just like we saw earlier. And red. Here's the wind tunnel that will fly you to red. Very handy. The other way to get to red is this window. You can jump here and through that to red. It's again a bit tricky because these slope jumps in Quakeworld are, well, they're not easy. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's easy to fall down. That is easy in Quake. Anyway, yeah, from there you can make it. Then next to red, you have ring, mega health, a lot of nails, those 10 rockets that we saw earlier, and a bit more health there and here. Some shells that don't really usually matter. Nice graveyard. Tomb. Some important guy has died and buried there. Then this is something that many people quite often forget. 5 rockets. Not necessarily very handy for the red guy, although sometimes can be, but especially handy for the guy holding the cathedral rocket. I call it nowadays, since yesterday, I call it cat because it's just so much faster. Saying cathedral all the time in voice just doesn't work. So this is cat from now on, at least for me. So here you have rocket and yellow and health and just like I showed you, rockets. So you have, again, almost everything you need for holding this area. So again, if you don't make many mistakes, you should be able to hold on to this. But in 4 and 4, you end up making mistakes. And from high cat, you make it to, I don't know, quad high area, which is above pent, and here is quad and 45 health. 3 times 15 there. And these rockets are very important as well. 10 rockets here. And there's the quad. And this quad tunnel takes you to Cathedral Rocket, Cat Rocket. So that's it. This tunnel connects Bent to Quad Low. That's it. That's Schloss Adler for you. Famous Nazi castle. But a great map. Wonderful map. Just like we saw yesterday. We had a lot of fun playing this. And had a great comeback. We were losing by over 70 frags. Only 8 minutes left in the game. And we won. Just great. By invisible wall, do you mean this one? I think with fast sky 0, it wouldn't feel well. Okay, I guess it's still an invisible wall, but this is how the map looks if you have the skybox on. Actually, I like this skybox. I like this darkness it provides better than the usual purple sky you have in regular Quake or even in Quakeworld. But still way too disturbing. So this is how my Quake looks without the skybox. Fast sky 1, black sky. Still quite dark. Make it any happier. Then let's go through the spawns. We have one at red low. Gets the first red for sure. Then we have one at Cat Rocket, or between Cat Rocket and Quad. This spawn is actually, if you have the rockets, it's nice to spam here. Here, by the way, nothing. If you have the rockets and you are holding the Cat Rocket, it's so lovely to spam rockets there and just hope for an enemy to spawn there, not for a mate. Looks like Finland. Yeah, for sure it does. For sure it does. A black sky. Yeah, everyone is telling that it looks like Turn to Castle Wolfenstein. I actually haven't played that game almost at all. I don't know if it has taken some influences from that game. You would know better. We should ask Zagat the mapper, I think. Because I haven't played the game. I think I might have seen it, or maybe played it one, but I'm not sure. What is the game ETF? Some kind of Team Fortress modification, I think, of RTCV that I played. The spawn is actually here, not here, as I remember. But anyway, this is the Pent spawn, I think. Yeah, you should probably get this Pent. But this is an interesting spawn because if the spawn was here, I think everyone would naturally go to Pent. But now that the spawn is here, I think many people will just walk forward and take whatever yellow or try to get the quad or whatever. I don't know. But just the funny thing is that if you don't know the spawns, you end up going forward. You don't even think what could be behind you. Even if there was a rocket behind you, and even if in a way you knew that the rocket was there, you still would go forward because you're not so familiar with the map. Okay, I'm a heretic then, apparently. No, I didn't play RTCV. Is it such a classic? I don't know. I have played almost every Quake, although I didn't play Quake Wars. But I've played Quake 1, regular Quake even, Quake 2, Quake 3, Quake 4, Quake Live. I have played Quake Champions even. So Oh, I'm a Quake guy. Not Wolfenstein guy. Although I have played the first Wolfenstein and Doom 1 and 2 and Final Doom and Doom 3. I haven't played the newest Doom though. Other than that, I have played more so CPMA, TF. What else? I played Go even 1.6 or even the earlier betas a bit. Yeah, apparently I've missed an FPS game. Yeah, I love the sliding in Quake 4, as well as the teleports through which you can shoot rockets. That is wonderful. I would love to have it in Quakeworld as well. We are not supposed to talk about the Quake Champions beta outside the beta forum, so I will just leave it to that. I will give you my opinion when the NDA is lifted. But before that, I will keep my mouth shut. Everyone is asking me, and I'm not giving any answers. Here is another spawn, a new one for us. Not a very great spawn, I have to say. Although you might get the cat rocket, but this guy will go for it anyway because although this guy would get the quad, getting the rocket is better. A lot more important than getting the quad, and there's no way you will have enough time in the beginning of the round to ask your mates if they spawned SSG. No way. Even just the lag in TeamSpeak or whatever voice comm you are using will make the difference. So you just have to go for the rocket. That's the only option. So this, I don't know, it will be tight. I don't know which spawn will actually get the rocket. I guess it depends on your reflexes. But anyway, what an interesting spawn. He can at least challenge the rocket and have a fight for it. I don't know who will get it. I guess depends on the round, and I guess also depends on the telefrags in the beginning of the round. There might be some telefrags, so if you get telefragged here, then this guy here will actually get the rocket. And going any other way, sure, you could take... Okay, you could actually be nasty and do this. That would be a beautiful move. Because although this guy is seemingly closer to red, there's no way he can challenge that trick. Ah, maybe the trick that I invented finally has a real use. Going through here and getting the red before the red guy has any chance of getting it. And so there's the spawn, I think, there. I think there are no spawns here. So unless the tower rocket guy comes through the telly, which he shouldn't, this guy will actually get 200 ring start, which is quite amazing. But is it better to go for the 200 ring start or to push your luck with the rocket? That's actually interesting. Very few maps have meaningful decisions like this in the beginning of the round. Many maps are pretty scripted. I will actually go through DM2 one of these days to show you one trick that almost no one does. Not even me. But there is a trick in DM2 that can be very handy, but there's also a decision that you have to make in like a split second. You pretty much have to decide already before the round if you are going for it or not, in case you spawn there. Failing the jump. This is not an easy jump. Mostly, well, this cross thing is, it's not as hard as I make it look like, but this is annoying. The ramp jump there. Sometimes you just get too much speed or hit it in the wrong angle, and you just lose all your speed and don't make it to red anymore. That is actually neat. I love this map even more now. Very nice. Okay, well that's this spawn. This spawn is actually in the middle here, but he won't be able to challenge unless he hits an SG there. Might be actually quite easy. I don't know, I should time this one day actually. Or why not time it now? Let's go race mode. Okay, race set start here. Finish. Ready. Bit less than 5 seconds that way. 4.7. I was cheating there a bit because there's no way you will spawn like that. Anyway, 4.5 is pretty much the fastest possible. From here. Quite even, Steven. 4.6 there. That's interesting. That's very interesting. How awesome would it be to red from the red spawn like that? Yeah, that's actually faster. 4.4 there. But the risk is that the enemy will, the red guy, will block you with one ST shot. Yeah, 4.4. This is faster, but barely. Ah, that ramp jump is so annoying. I have to find a consistent way to do it. But the funny thing is that even if you fail the first jump, you will get SSG and you will be right behind the guy who spawned here. So we'll have SSG against SG at first, and he might get the SNG that is under the red. But anyway, before he gets the SNG, you should have dealt already enough damage to take him down, because he's probably not expecting you to be there. So anyway, this might be the best spawn for getting red. But now the question is, do you want to go to red? That is whole another question, because you might want to go for the cat rocket. Have to find a way. That jump. Slowing down just a bit before the ramp. Then it's almost dead even, time-wise, to the other one. Okay, well anyway, now we know the timings. Is there any fallback plan if you fail a jump? Well, maybe you asked the question before I figured out that you will get to challenge the red guy anyway. And also, if you fail the jump somewhere here, then you will probably have a chance to go to the ring. Although, if it's enemy red, he will get to ring pretty fast. So if you fail the jump to the cross, then you will be in a hurry. But you might still get it, and you might end up getting ring and mega. So that is difficult. What do you want to get? Do you want to risk it and go for the rocket launcher, which is super important? Rocket launcher is always amazing, especially because there's an armor also. Or do you want to go for 200-200 ring SSG, which in most cases will give you a very good chance of getting one of the second rockets. Although, if it's enemy pent, you will have to go for the rocket where the enemy pent is not. It also makes this interesting. This is one of the few maps with a pent and 2 rockets. Because if you have 1 pent, 1 rocket, it's super simple to know what to do with the first pent. Go for the second rocket, that's it. But when you have 2 rockets, what do you do with the first pent? How do you decide which rocket to go for? Poor Quake guy. It's actually easier now that I realized that there's a ramp there even. It looks quite dead even here, but it's not. So you can make the jump just from here quite easily. Oh, even straight. Well, that's good to know. Because that is something you can use by just falling down here on purpose to, I don't know, dodge someone and then come back. Or you can even shoot at mega health. You learn something new every day. I didn't realize it's this easy. But anyway, with high speed, it's not very good. Because when you jump in from here, you're not going to make it to the very top so well. Let's not do any Quake Champions FAQ here. Not using simple items is something that actually helps. I can demonstrate it really fast for you. In DM3, I have mega health textures that are like this. Very well visible. And if you have simple items, you can't see this mega health here. Especially with v underscore view height -6 that I'm using. That makes, and I'm using -6 so that my crosshair is exactly in the middle of the screen. So my rockets actually fly through the crosshair. I have a bind that changes my view height to this so-called high view, which makes the mega health more visible. And in DM4, for example, it's faster, or you see the enemies coming from high tele towards LG area earlier if you are standing at red and standing at LG and using this high view. But anyway, I will demonstrate the simple items. But R underscore simple, no. GL underscore simple items. There you go. You can see that the mega health disappears, and there's no way for me. Only if I jump like, or walk jump like this, but it makes a sound. So I guess I could stop there midair, yeah, without making a sound. But anyway, it's very difficult, and you are not seeing it when you go just upwards. You are not seeing the simple items here. Even with the biggest allowed size of simple item, you don't see it when you go like this, yeah. So now I will show you like this, and you see it. And especially with the low view, actually. Let's try once more. I have the low view now. Now, okay, I can just about see it, but I have to waste a lot of time going back and forth. But going just upwards, there's no way of seeing it unless I jump somewhere here, and it stops my movement because of the stairs. So that's the reason. And yeah, I know that the simple item size is configurable, but max size is 16, and it's still not enough. I don't see a thing here. There we go. Nothing there. So that's the reason. It also makes a difference in DM2. Seeing upper mega health from the center is easier. But this is actually one of the things that I had to change for Qhlan. No, Quakecon. They didn't allow me to use my custom textures, so I had to use simple items because there was, actually, what was the reason? There was something that was very disturbing for me with the default textures. So I ended up using simple items. And the problem is that these 25 health packs are bright yellow, and my skins were yellow. So at times in DM2 NG, I would think that there was an enemy coming through path when I saw the health pack there, but it was actually a health pack and not an enemy. So that was a bit disturbing. But other than that, it wasn't a huge problem. I can play with simple items, but I just prefer not to. I like this better. Then back to the spawns. So this guy has an option also. He could go to quad, but no, I will never opt for the quad. I will always go for the yellow rocket here. This guy will, of course, go for the rocket, and he will go for the yellow as well. I think there's no way that guy down there should be able to challenge the yellow, and if that guy knows what he's doing, he should go for the pent anyway. So this guy will get the yellow rocket and probably should go for these rockets as well. So he will have 15 rockets. And he can probably deal some significant damage here to the enemy ring mega red guy, maybe, if it's enemy. Maybe. Depends on how other people play. This guy... this map is so interesting with the spawns. I didn't even remember. Because this guy could go for the quad, because that guy shouldn't go for the quad. But then again, you could as well jump down and get the pent. Will it be faster than this guy coming there here? Because this is a bit awkward. You can't bunny hop here in the downstairs so well. This is actually a wonderful map because this comes down to just, I don't know, to your gut feeling. Like, what do you want to do? Well, this guy, of course, has to go for the pent, but he might get the pent or not. And if that guy goes for the pent, then pent guy then probably won't get nade and GL, but the guy who doesn't go for the pent will get this. So interesting. There's this spawn as well. Well, this can actually make a difference. He won't make it to rocket, but on the other hand, will he check if anyone spawns there? Then on the other hand, he could go for the pent as well. Not too far. 2 jumps. I think it's pretty much just as fast as that one. I wonder if that is well, almost at least. Oh, not quite. That's a nice rocket jump, actually. Yeah, it's doable. So this guy here, 1, 2 jumps. But is that fall so long that this guy should be faster, actually. So this is actually the bend spawn. And there's no way that guy should be faster. Or could it be? I don't know. Yeah, I think you are right about the simple item size. That it should match the normal model size. I mean, at least the max size should, because now I just can't use simple items because of that, or I won't. Ah, yeah, you are right. Yes, you can jump bump in Quakeworld, meaning that you have to time the jump when you are the guy boosting, so that the other guy will jump on your head when you are midair. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason to do it in DM2. It's too difficult to coordinate. But yeah, it would be sweet if there was actually a place where there was a meaningful use for it. Absolutely. Above SSG tunnel, so this one. Yeah, that's what I think. I didn't time it now, but I'm quite sure as well. This should be the fastest. Okay, well... But I still think that this guy doesn't have much else to do than to push for the bend anyway. Just in case that guy does something stupid. And even if he doesn't, this guy will get nade and mega health, steal them away from the bend, which makes it more difficult for the bend guy to get one of the second rockets. Can be helpful, so he should come here anyway. But then again, this guy then should probably go for the quad, unless he has some magical reflexes and can SG the guy bunning from there, coming here, shoots the guy, gets the bend. But then again, that's a problem because he wouldn't, unless he jumps, shoots the guy, gets the bend. That would be awesome. The stopping that guy's movement. Drop crap GL and immediately spam to bend. I think it will be too slow. I think it's more viable to try to block that guy with SG, but it will require a very good SG hit. I think the GL will be too slow. The guy will be already at bend. So actually from this spawn, I would go for the quad. Just grab the quad and try to get one of the armors. You won't make it to any of the first armors, but one of the second armors. I think that is the safest thing to do, unless you want to make the risky play. Go here and go for the bend. But then I think you are still risking it that guy even spawning there next to SSG will make it before you. I think holding the bend with GL won't make a difference. Because bend should go for one of the second armors, and you only have 5 rockets there. So you're not going to hold the bend anywhere really. He will go wherever he wants. Not when you have 5 rockets only and no choke points. So he will go wherever he wants, and he will get one of the second armors. Which one? I'm not sure. He might want to go to red, because he can go to red very easily. He can go here, grab some rockets, wait for the red, but then he might be in a hurry. Make it to second tower rocket, or either of the second rockets, because if the red isn't taken in time, or like within 5 seconds of the match start, then you might not make it. So maybe the bent guy will opt to go to this yellow here, and then and take the rocket. Or he will take this yellow and take the tower rocket. Or even take this yellow and go... No, take this rocket and take the cathedral rocket. Take this yellow and the cat rocket. Or take the cat yellow and even make it to tower rocket. Whichever seems... I don't know, better at that time, depending on the enemy spawns and weapons. I will go through the spawns first, then I will try some trick jump. Isn't she ramp to window jump at red? Now I'm curious. Here? Ah, this one. Or? That's actually interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't even know this one. If this is the one you meant. Huh. That is probably the fastest way to go to. Go to red. Not very easy way, but very fast nevertheless. Huh. Nice. I didn't know that one. And I guess you can do it the other way as well. If I only knew how to do it this way. Crap. That hard. Ring ramp to leads to arch to red. Like this? Is this the trick or something else? And what is the ledge? This window sill here? Or what ledge? But, well, this is pretty much, yes, this I knew. I'm not sure if I have ever done it from there, but, well, this is quite simple. Yeah, okay, well, this is quite similar to the one coming from the window to roof to cross to the windowsill, and from there to the arch and red. But this one was totally new. Never thought about it. Very nice, so smooth. Not super difficult, but I'm just afraid that it will take me some time to, I don't know, make it viable. Yeah, thanks for that. That is a nice trick. Then back to spawns. This spawn, not much to do there really. This will actually challenge red as well. Holy shit, I didn't remember. Because you can get to red from there, and this will be by far the fastest spawn to red, I think. Because he's not going to make it to rocket, but then on the other hand, he could go through and steal the yellow. The rocket guy. And maybe even then get rid of the rocket. Huh! So many interesting decisions to make. Because this guy could really choose between red mega ring or blocking this. But then, because this spawn is here, I think it makes it easier for this guy to make the decision and just go for the rocket. Because there is a better spawn. Could go for the red, and there's that guy anyway who could challenge him. So it's probably, unfortunately, not worth going for the beautiful, beautiful window roof cross window arch red trick. I love the trick, but maybe it's not so viable in the start of the round. Yeah, tell me what you think. I mean, I want to hear your opinions about the spawns as well. That I'm really curious because I might miss things. Anyway, this is so interesting. What to do with this one? I think it might be worth going. If you have very fast reflexes, you could go through here, and if you see an enemy here, then turn left, go for the yellow. If not, then you can just follow back through. This is, by the way, awesome. I don't know if you knew the trick, but this is great. But anyway, if it's a teammate, you should leave the yellow to him, and you can go back. You won't have time to go to red, probably, but I think there is a trick here. Yeah, you will get ring and mega. Or you don't even have to go for the trick, just take ring and mega. Which is not a bad start. Tower rocket, for example, could peek through telly to interrupt the spawn on the other side of the telly. Tower rocket coming here. Interrupt the guy from doing what exactly? Yes, you can do the stair jump, but just not the way you do it in Quake Live, for example, or CPMA. It's a lot easier in Quake Live. In Quake Live, you can do it in 2 jumps. In CPMA and Reflex, is it even 1 jump? Whatever he's doing, but I think the problem is that it will take the tower rocket guy quite a long time to make it here. And if this spawn doesn't come through the telly, he will be long gone already. He will be either at red, and you don't want to challenge here with 0-100 rocket if there is a red 100-100 here already. So not a good idea. And if he's going for the ring mega, he will be long gone already. You might be able to hit 1 rocket if you see that if you see the ring, and if you have the info that it's not team ring. But I think it's not worth it. With the tower rocket, you should, in my opinion, definitely go for the yellow. This one? do you mean when you spawn here, you should jump like this? Well, yeah, sure. I mean, this is wonderful, yes. But from a spawn? Okay. If you really... I don't know, I'm not so sure about this. Because you can't even jump as far as you can. It's doable, but you have reflexes like that when you spawn and you don't know where you are going to spawn. So you would really need cat's reflexes to be able to start so fast. But of course, if you have, then go for it. I will show you the airwalk jump soon. I will just walk. Well, okay. I so fast that I can. Eno is here. And yes, you are right. If this spawn will go through to Mega Health and then somehow try to get to Ring, then sure, you can kill it. But I think the problem still is that with the rocket without armor, you are facing 0 to 100 guy who possibly might even get a ring. You are just kind of taking an unnecessary risk for not so much reward, because that rocket you have is going to be very important. So I would make sure that I'm not dying with the rocket. Although on the other hand, there's not going to be anyone else here anytime soon unless there's another spawn here quite quickly afterwards. So you could go here, take the hit, or take your chances. Maybe you will get rid of the Mega and go back for the yellow. That's true. You could go for that. Two jumps actually is enough in Quakeworld to get to red in airwalk. It's difficult, and I have done it I think once in a game, and it was in some pretty low level 2-on-2 game where I just went for the jump just for the fun of it. But it's so difficult that I have never seen anyone else do it in game. So yes, if you do it in game, it basically takes 3 jumps. Well, I guess we have covered this spawn. This spawn is still a bit open. But I would go for the yellow. And if not yellow, then I will come. If it's enemy, then I will go for the yellow. If it's mate, then I will have safe passage to come back here. And actually, safe passage to come back here and tell my teammate who has the rocket, come here and take the Mega Health. Because SG guy is not going to need the Mega Health. The rocket guy will love it. And then you can have red control the very beginning. Although you will probably want to have that rocket guy at one of the rockets 30 seconds into the game to save you the next rocket. I'm loving this process. This is so much fun to learn new things. I just want to play this map. Just everyone get here and play 4-on-4 with me. I want to play. Yeah, I think plus forward is the way to go. Oh, Kovac did it against Dev. That's sweet. That takes some balls too. I know that Kovac knows the trick and he's very good with his movement, but it's nice to know that he has actually done it against such a good opponent as well. Sweet. Great stuff, really. Okay, well, anyway, this spawn is... This is very, very interesting. Do you want to save even the ring for your rocket? I don't know. Or will you take the ring and hope that 0-100, you can use the ring to steal one of the armors, maybe. Yeah, plus forward, that should work from almost every spawn. Bend spawn. This is another bend spawn. Bend. Oh, I'm getting a lot of bend spawns. This is fighting for the red spawn. Because there's nothing else this guy can do. But now with the DMT's trick, this actually becomes very viable. Because with the extra speed you get by bunny hopping, you have a nice timing, and we have a winner. Yeah, I remember seeing that Kovac's video where he's explaining the trick. But I haven't seen it done in game, but I believe that he has. If he says so, then I don't have any reason not to believe he has done the trick. Yeah, next to the health box is just 2 jumps. Or not even from the health boxes, but from the corner of the drop down to next to the wind tunnel. You start from there, jumps to red. The quad guy. This is my rocket. This is red, definitely red. And cat rocket, bend. I think we have gone through all the spawns now. So how many spawns do we have? We have 1 here. We have 1 there, so that's 2. Then we have 3, 4, 5 there. 6 and 7. And 8. I forgot that one, I think. Does it mean... I don't remember how the spawn modes... work in the start of the game, especially I don't know about KTX2 respawns, how they work in the beginning of the round. They don't prevent telefrags at least, but now that we have 8 spawns, does it mean that all the spawns will be used and there will be no telefrag? And if so, will there be some kind of delay for some of the spawns? If it randomly selects a spawn for you in the beginning of the round that is taken, will there be a delay in selecting the next spawn? Because I think one of the spawn modes had delay like that. When you had the spawn telefrag protection. I don't know. Someone tell me if you happen to know the answer. Okay, I will change the server because Henu is not awake. I can show you the airwalk jump. So this is the classic airwalk jump. Like this. That takes 3 jumps. And then the difficult one, which will take a couple of tries probably, goes through here. Yeah, that's 2 jumps. Not super difficult, but still, if you're shaking even a bit, if you, I don't know, if you make a mistake or start it in wrong position, then you're not going to make it. And just much risk here, I think. The main ramp jump to LG's house. Yes, I can. No, I don't do it in game usually, or never, because this is again quite a risky jump to pull off. I mean, yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, it's like, I don't know, there I tried 4 times, made it 2 times, but not worth it for me. Because it's so much easier to just use the teleport and get here. Usually, I don't know, not worth it because I can do it so reliably. Sometimes I use speedometer. Quite rarely though anymore. I used to use it quite a lot, but not anymore. This one is actually a lot more difficult, but it's doable from this ramp here to that side. Which, well, would be probably even less useful, but if you want to, I don't know, feel bad about your movement, try that one. It can take a while. I think we are done with schloss. And we still don't have any players. Come on! But that was at least fun, going through the spawns in schloss. And learning the map otherwise as well. And showing you guys as well. Yeah, DM3 bent heel to window with 1 rocket. That actually used to be a viable trick back in the day when KF jump script was allowed. I remember, was it Fifi or I think it was Fifi who actually did it in game quite often. He even did it in a way that I have never been able to pull off without the script or with the script, because I never played with the script. I hated it. He did the jump from here. Just here, press the button and flew there. Like something like this. But yeah, this is quite hard without script. Sometimes it goes fast, sometimes it takes ages. And well, yeah, there you go. Maybe got lucky, I don't know. Usually takes maybe 10 tries, but that's the way it works. And the thing is just that it's so slow, the rocket jump. I think it's faster almost to jump just here and here, because that may be faster to get to the window, but the thing is that you have lost all the speed when you reach the window when you do it with 1 rocket jump. Whereas from here, you have a lot of speed and you can use the momentum to get anywhere you want. What is useful on the other hand, especially if you can really do it with 1 rocket jump, is from bent mega to window. Very annoying with 1 rocket, I think. It will take me forever to do this. Kappo, the Finnish player, used to do it all the time with 1 rocket. I don't know how he was so good at it. It's so dependent on this angle of the rocket jump. If you have too big angle, then you will hit the ceiling, and if you have too low, then you just fly too fast forward and not high enough. So he had really honed this one down. Looked really solid. But anyway, I usually do it with 2 rockets like this. which is really handy as well. I used to do it with TVS at least quite a lot, but with one rocket I never really learned it. To be honest, I haven't used this in a while, so I might be a bit rusty. But yeah, especially if you can do it smoothly like I did the first 2 times. Not too high, not like that. Then it's really handy. Taking the mega, then continuing with the momentum all the way to quad or even to red, wherever you are going. Like this. This is very handy. Then rocket jump there and you're at red already. That's so good. Especially when the enemy gets the quad when you go for the bent mega. So hunting down that enemy quad with those rocket jumps, it's very handy. And a lot of fun as well. I didn't play Team Fortress much. My problem was that I played with a modem for a long time, and the bandwidth in with a modem is so low that it really didn't handle the high player counts in Team Fortress very well. So it just felt very, very bad. I got very bad being compared to one-on-one in deathmatch, so I just never got into Team Fortress, no. And now that I see how the deathmatch scene is compared to Team Fortress, I'm not sad about it. How much ammo do I have? This is pre-war. I have unlimited ammo here. Normally the maximum ammo for shotgun and super shotgun is 100, for nail gun and super nail gun 200, for rocket 100, or for grenade and rocket 100, and for LG 100. And SG and SSG, they use the same ammo shells that you can find, for example, here. Super shotgun uses 2 shells, shotgun only 1. Then nail gun here and super nail gun there. They use nails that you can find here, for example. Super nail gun uses 2 nails for each nail that it shoots. Nail gun uses only 1. Then you have grenade, which is there, and rocket launcher, which is there, and they both use these rockets. Both shoot 1 rocket at a time, or use 1 rocket at a time. Then here you have cells and lightning gun. Lightning gun is the only weapon that uses cells. Shoots 10 cells per second. Each cell deals 30 damage. So 300 TPS. A lot more powerful weapon than, for example, LG in Quake Live or even the LG in Quake 3. Especially with the knockback effect that you have with LG. I will show you. I know it's here idle. So you can move around people with LG like this, and it's especially visible when you shoot someone mid-air and you just nail them to the wall. And what else? Rocket hit deals 110 damage if you hit a direct hit, and the splash damage is huge. If Henno didn't move that much, I could show you. I will shoot next to him. That dealt 90 damage, that dealt 86, 74, 75, even there still, which is not even close, it's still 71 damage. And there, still 55, 44 there, and here it's nothing anymore. So even this far away, you deal 45 damage. And if you compare that to Quake 3 or Quake Live, that is the biggest difference in rockets. Because in Quake Live and Quake 3, the splash damage is almost non-existent. At least if you ask a Quakeworld player. Then super nail guns DPS is actually very high. It's 180. The problem is that you're not going to hit all your nails with super nail gun. It's a bit like plasma gun in Quake Live, but a lot harder to hit, and it doesn't deal as much damage as plasma gun. So it's not as viable as plasma gun, and nails don't hurt yourself. Not like plasma, you can kill yourself. Nails. But anyway, SNG can be viable in some special circumstances, like in E1M2, where there are a lot of narrow corridors and very few armors around. SNG is very handy there. And also only one rocket launcher and no LG, so makes SNG even better. NG, on the other hand, is a weapon that almost never is used. There are a couple of places in Quakeworld where you will use NG. One of which is at DM2 Tele. If you attack the DM2 Tele with NG and there is an SG guy there, then you will probably win the fight with NG. Then what else? SSG. SSG deals 52 damage. 56, yeah. Sorry, my bad. 56 damage if you are very close to your opponent. Very beautiful weapon. Especially with quad. Not so much without quad, because rate of fire is pretty low. And more importantly, the spread is huge. You don't want to hit SSG from this distance usually. You want to get on your opponent's skin to use it. Compared to Quake Live shotgun, this is just useless. Because Quake Live's shotgun or Quake 3's shotgun, they are ridiculously powerful compared to this. And I think that is one of the main gripes about Quake Live and Quake 3 amongst Quakeworld players, that the shotgun is just stupidly powerful. But anyway, with quad, and especially in, again, special circumstances like DM2 low rocket, quad SSG is just amazing. And also in E1M2, any quad run can use SSG quite effectively. Just somehow so satisfactory weapon. I don't know, it just feels so good to kill 0-100 guys with quad SSG. So much fun. And then we have SG, deals 24 damage. Also has a bit of spread, so if you are further away, you are not going to hit as hard. For example, here I'm hitting anything between 8 to 24. Getting 24 actually from this distance seems to be very difficult. I got it once, I think. Yeah, there. First 24. 20, 12. So it's a bit random. But in 4 and 4 especially, a very important weapon. And Henu here, for example, who hits usually over 50% SG. It's very nasty to fight in 4 and 4. Or, on the other hand, if he's in your team, he's valuable asset. Because most people usually have a bit less than 50, like, I don't know, good players usually have maybe between 45 and 50. and then lower tier players can go as low as 30. And then I have seen Henu hitting over 60 and over 50 almost every round, so it makes a difference. The funny thing is that I used only keyboard as well initially, but then, and for some time I thought that it wasn't possible to have mouse look in Quake at all, and because it was not in the menus, you couldn't enable mouse look in the menus. You had to know the plus envelope command, and back in '97. It wasn't so easy to find information, at least for someone who was 11 years old. So I just played with keyboard and was happy with it until Quake 2 came out, and it was possible to enable the mouse look in the menus. So I actually played Quake 2 with mouse look before Quake 1. That's a good question. Yeah, it really would be nice to have SG damage visible. I would love it as well. My theory is that Henu here is actually saving his SG. I think he shoots like 20 to 30 shells every game, and that is the way he gets so good SG percentage. I'm joking, naturally, but anyway, it would be nice to see, because I have noticed with the LG percentages that although my LG percentage quite often is not the highest, I have noticed that most often I shoot the most cells, and also even though I have the lower percentage, I might hit just as many cells or even more than the players with higher percentage. It comes down to different play styles, at least a bit as well. No, I think Quake Champions will have absolutely no effect on the player base of Quakeworld. Not worried about it at all. I think it will affect Quake Live a lot more. Because the people who still play Quakeworld because they love the game. And because they haven't liked anything that has come out afterwards. At least not as much as Quakeworld. And I don't see Quake Champions changing that in any way. Do I hate Rail? In a way, yes. Yes, I do hate Rail. It's better in Quake Live than it was in Quake 3. Quake 2 never became so popular, so Rail didn't disturb me there somehow. But in Quake 3 it was so clear how Rail was pretty much the sole reason why the official one-on-one games, and not even official, just one-on-one in general, became so slow. It just, I don't know, it just became game where you would have to be so afraid of the rail of the other player that just slowed the game down. It just took so much speed away from the game, so so much aggression away from the game. Rail was so powerful in Quake 3, but still in Quake Live, it's too much of a rail game. You don't have to be as careful with the rail as before. Maybe it has something to do with the map design as well, but anyway, you can't move around as freely as I would prefer to move, because you have to, or you do know that even if you're very far away from your opponent, he can just instantly take away 80 health from you by hitting that one rail. So avoid that, you have to slow things down and position yourself so that you are not so easily railable. In a way, I don't know if I hate it. I hated it in Quake 3, it was way too powerful. In Quake Live, not as powerful, but I still dislike it at least. It would be a better game if rail wasn't there. Yeah, okay. Okay, I haven't played Reflex much, but I have played Quake Live Duel a bit. I think I just checked my statistics. I think I had 130 hours of Quake Live just in Steam. And I played it before the Steam game into the picture quite a bit also. So I have played Quake Live enough to know at least somewhat when to use the rail. And I do switch to it. It's not like I can't use it, but I just hate what it did to Quake. That's my relationship to rail. I don't even find those. If you mean that you shoot your opponent in the air and then switch to rail and rail the opponent midair, I don't find that very impressive. The flick shots they do with rails after going through teleports, those are sometimes quite sick. And that I can respect, but I don't know, to me, shooting someone midair with a rail, especially when you don't have almost any air control, it's just, I don't know, simple stuff compared to midair rockets, which are very difficult to pull off in Quake Live. A bit easier in Quakeworld, but still not super easy. Yeah, this is Quake Champions. This is what the battle looks like. It's amazing. I'm loving this Quake Champions game. Sorry for breaking the NDA, but yeah, this is it, guys. Yeah, it's amazing how smoothly things are running. It's a closed beta, no server problems. No, nothing. Just amazing. I just wish they had invited more people here, because it just seems like it's Eno and I who got the keys. Some guys at the free-for-all server. But maybe in the final release we will have more guys. Yeah, Minecraft players will feel right at home here. That's true, that's true. If no one is going to join very soon, then I will take a short break and stream again in about 2 hours. Yeah, imagine that, 100 million players. If we even had a couple of thousands, I would be in heaven. That it would be so much fun to play Born for all day long. Yeah, axe is of course here. What's your axe? That's the way an axe should look like. Bloody and messy. Check this guy's movement skills. He's just running around with an axe in his hand. Not a single problem. Do you really think that nades were somehow problematic in Quake Live? Because to me, it seemed like they weren't used almost at all. I mean, there are certain places in Quake Live where nades are used, but it's not like the grenade launcher is one of the most important weapons in the game. In ZTN or whatever the ZTN is called in Quake Live, it's used to spam the mega health, and I guess in some other maps as well. But I don't know. I think it's a nice niche weapon there, where I don't know. You use it when it's handy. It's not overpowered, but it's still useful in some places. It reminds me of some weapons in Quakeworld, like SNG. It's not useful most of the time, but it has its uses. Whereas in Quake Live, if you don't have railgun and the map has it, then you're just fucked. You need a railgun or a rocket, and you need LG. Those are the weapons in Quake Live that you need. But it's nice to have weapons like plasma gun, grenade launcher, SSG, whatever shotgun it is called there, and machine gun that are still somewhat viable, but not weapons that you use all the time. Okay, well, I don't know shit about Qhlan Arena. I hate Qhlan Arena. You asked if I hate Railgun. Well, yes, I very much dislike Railgun, but I hate Qhlan Arena. That just killed many other game modes in Quake 3. Just everyone was playing Qhlan Arena. It's so simple, but Qhlan Arena is like an anti-Quake for me. It takes everything that makes Quake for me, and just retains the things that are like in any other FPS. You just jump around, move, shoot. But you take the beautiful part away, the item control, the stack management. That's Clan Arena, and everyone was going nuts about it. Just everyone played Clan Arena, nothing else. Crazy. So I don't really care how nades affect Clan Arena. I hope nades are so annoying in Clan Arena that no one will play it. Yeah, just the problem with that way of thinking is that if you're not good enough for certain game mode, then how about practicing that game mode and you might become good enough to play it. But if you're just playing Clan Arena day in and day out, never learn the other modes because you will never have to worry about stack control, item timing, stuff like that. Yeah, let's go all to the Clan Arena server in Quake Live and just nade. Nades only. Timing is stressful. Well, yeah, okay. I get you. Yeah, people are different. I don't find timing stressful at all. Comes somehow so naturally, and then if it doesn't come naturally, then you forget things. Come and bite you quite often, but I don't know. I just love the fact that there are so many things to keep track of in 4 and 4 that there's no way you will remember it all. You can't keep track of it all, so just hope you are keeping track of many things enough and compensate with your aim, skill, and luck, and hope that it's enough. And also hope that one of your opponents will forget something as well. Yeah, in a way I understand what you're saying. I mean, if your aim is totally horrible, then sure, Clan Arena can can help there. And also it can help you understand and learn when to use each weapon. It has its uses, and I understand that people like to warm up there and so on, but then again, someone is here saying that aim is the least important skill in one-on-one in Quake Live. I don't know enough about Quake Live to make a statement like that, but I can believe it, and I can say that it's at least I don't know if I can say that it's the least important thing in Quakeworld 2-on-2 or 4-on-4, but it's okay. In 4-on-4, aim is really not all that necessary. If you really are better than your opponent with your game sense, with item timing, item control, then you can almost play with a keyboard and destroy your opponent in 4-4. I have seen it so many times when good 4-4 players come and play after a long break, and they are shaky as hell. They are not hitting anything, but they just know still where to go and exactly when to go. And they just get to take fights, for example, 200-100 against 0-100 Rocket, and they just get free kills that way. You don't have to hit almost anything to win fight when you are, first of all, in better position and you have a better stack. So no matter how bad your aim is, if I'm, for example, I don't know, if I'm here, or let's say even here, and the enemy somehow doesn't know that you're here, and he's coming from there. If he has 0-100, I have 200-100 and Rocket. You don't need any kind of aim here. Just press that one button and you have to kill. And sometimes it's really that simple in 4-4. When you are so better in everything else except for the aim part, these are the situations where you can end up being in. The problem is that I think that many people think that they have better game sense or strategies or tactics than they actually do have. They think that they already know how to play the game, and they blame their aim that, okay, I have so shaky shaft, I only hit 20% and I can't win these games. When in fact they still lack a lot of game sense and they could improve there a lot more. CA, that is Clan Arena. Yeah, you have in Clan Arena you play the game in rounds, a bit like in Counter-Strike, and you spawn with armor full health or 200-100, I don't remember even, and all weapons. And you play in teams and play as long as everyone is dead from one of the teams, and then you start over. So tell us, what is the problem in Clan Arena? Or what is bad in it? Yeah, I guess Rafa has absolutely amazing game sense. At least in one-on-one. I haven't seen the guy play much else. I remember that at Quakecon there was some CTF tournament, but I'm sure he has a great game sense. He wouldn't be one of the best players in the world otherwise. You don't be a great Quake player just by having a good aim. I think actually, for example, Evil has at least better LG than Rafa does, but he still lost last Quakecon final. Although barely, but still, he did. Do I think that Twitch has some machine learning? Or, well, I think this would take signal processing, I guess would be the right term here. Well, I don't know, are swastikas somehow forbidden in Twitch? I mean, if you're playing some Return to Castle Wolfenstein or the original Wolfenstein, is it going to be a problem? I think we are not in Germany. Yeah, I have actually won official Quakeworld one-on-one games with less than 20% LG. I think the lowest might have been something like 50.9% against players who have shafted almost 40. Okay, this is interesting. Is for example Return to Castle Wolfenstein or the original Wolfenstein 3D on the list of banned games? I mean, I wouldn't have problems creating custom textures for this map, I guess. I don't need Hitler on the wall, but just happens to be there. And these are the default textures. Okay, I would be actually curious to hear what games are on the ban list. And for what reason? I'm just curious. Bet here must be a nice trick jump somewhere. From quad to tower. Yes, there is. How I didn't come up with that before. I just now realized that you can attack the tower. This is almost like the CMT4 ego jump. So if I start here, nope. I just want to be able to do it consistently. But this could be. Takes a bit too much time, perhaps. What if I just start, I come from here. No, this will be too slow, I'm afraid. My Devil Dagger score, I have never played it. I know the game though, but I never tried it. Okay, let's practice this jump a bit. So here, if I make one circle, now this should be good. Yep. That's actually quite viable. You have to make one extra circle here in the cathedral room, but other than that, it doesn't take so much time and might take the opponent by surprise, but on the other hand, might not. I don't know. It's so useful. Because anyway, you can get to the tower so easily through other means. Ah, too far again. I have to learn the steps. Yeah. What do I achieve by jumping in from this way? Of course, the opponent won't expect me to come. But then again, if I have a rocket, I could just rocket jump in. And it wouldn't even take a full blast rocket jump. It would be faster, 45 health rocket jump. Yeah, I could do that for fun, but not much else. We do have some Milton here. Ah, seems to be so difficult to get players today. I could open the window for a while. It's getting hot once again. I have a beta key for the Quake Champions, but we are not supposed to discuss about it outside the forums. Hey. With the bot. Here. That's wonderful. Old school player making a comeback. Stop is right, the never-ending discussion about Clan Arena. So luckily in Quakeworld, Clan Arena never was a thing. Quakeworld we play so-called DMM4 game modes where just like in Clan Arena you spawn with all the weapons and full armor, full health, but instead of playing in teams you play most of the time at least one-on-one and you don't have rounds. You get frags just like in normal Quake. Whenever you spawn with the full gear. Why is CPMA Clan Arena better than Quake 3 Clan Arena? Okay, it seems like we are not going to get a game going very fast, so I will take a break of a bit over an hour now and hopefully find a game after that and stream it as well. For example, missed the start of the stream with the hilarious demo or my comparison of Qhlan. But I'm going to eat something now and take a short break. Catch you